That's hilarious.
That's a lot for a 6-year-old to say.
Listen to this bad word.
Zebra.
We've all had that experience. And we are live on the radio in 9876, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, that's funny.
Bam,
Z word.
bam.
How old are you?
I would do that, man. Well, we might as well go through our intros. Kent's not here, so we got to introduce ourselves. Joe Turner, Restoration 1, water, fire, smoke, mold, anything gross that your cleaning service won't come and clean up. We love to do that. 847-264-4664. Kick it over to Steph.
Steph with Steph's Bookkeeping Service, 847-942-3004. You can fill out our pricing calculator online at stephsbooks.com. And we don't even have to read Jess's intro because we have
In
Jess.
the flesh, we have Jess. Oh, this is awesome.
Let's see. We're going to see if you're better at it than Kent is.
Than Kent is at reading your own intro.
I don't know. You might be better at reading the intro, but Jess Stoffel, Epic Media. I do website design and social media marketing for local and nationwide businesses. So when you're truly authentic, there can be no competitors. So contact me, Jess, and you can do Jess at epicmediainc.com or just look at the website, epicmediainc.com.
Awesome. In the flesh, we
With
have
Jess.
With Jess.
Kind of
Flesh
rhymes.
with Jess.
That's kind
that-
of dirty, though. That might be
Yeah.
it might provoke some bad tuner
Yikes.
inners, you know.
Yikes.
We might not like it. So today we are talking cycles of business. Steph and I were talking about different types of cycles in your business, right? There's multiple ways that you can have a cyclical business. So first and foremost, Steph, kick us off. What subject do you want to start first?
I guess let's start with operations because I feel like then operations will kind of lead into finances.
Totally.
So,
Totally.
so like a lot of businesses out there, I know at least with mine, I'm sure with yours, there's seasons where you're super, super busy. And then there's other times where you have a bunch of downtime.
Right.
So when you're busy and you're in the thick of it, I feel like you can't take a step back and process and look at everything that's going on, and you're just in the thick of it and you just got to get done and get through it.
Yep.
And then
what is your typical Jess, actually, what's your operations cycles, right? Like, what's your busy time for doing the work?
I gotta say that everything flipped upside down after COVID. So
Ooh, interesting. Explain before versus after.
before I could say that it would be, oddly enough, it was like a June, July, and then in the holidays for my clients that are selling stuff, you have holiday sales and all that kind of stuff. So that was
Right.
super busy. And then right about now, starts to get busy again, then it'll die down. But after COVID, during COVID, it was completely all the time because everyone had to flip to the web and sell things on the web and try to do different things with their businesses. And it was a lot more people going to social media, people who are doing Facebook ads who were not seeing results before started seeing results on like during COVID and all kinds of stuff.
Everybody's on Facebook. Everybody's
yeah.
on social media. Interesting.
Yeah.
Steph, what's your typical cycles of business?
Well,
for
we're
your
super
operation?
busy right now.
Yes.
Why is that?
Go figure, huh?
Yeah, I mean, usually, like in October, that's a really busy month for us because that's when a lot of the CPAs want to do that like little skim prep of the financials going into end of year,
Mhm.
kind of preparing some of the business owners of what's to come with their tax liabilities.
Yes.
And then from January through about now, we're just slammed. Like I am working, 6-7 days a week right now, and we're just slammed. But every CPA or every accounting firm, everybody, like they're working these kind of hours right now.
Tis the season,
Correct.
just
You're
because
right.
of what you do. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
And then everybody's gonna have probably about now filed their extensions. So we'll have a little breathing room. And then come July, we'll have another huge wave of all the people that didn't do anything because they filed the extension, and now they still need to do their cleanup and prep work because the extensions are due.
So they filed the they didn't do anything, filed the extension, and then
Still
didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Go, oh.
Yeah, now it's game time.
Right.
So do you have a lull from like May to June, or like a little lull in there where you've done with the initial tax rush now, and the extenders haven't reached out to you yet?
Yeah, so that time we just are doing our normal monthly reoccurring services. So that gives me and my team time to just get back into a normal, normal workflow. And then that also gives Rich and I time to review and process all the analytics and the fun stuff from the busy time.
Right. Our busy time, just because we deal with the obviously weather emergencies, is your typical weather punches. Right now we're ramping up, we're busy as ever, and then come November, well, really it starts in September kind of, and we get some rains in November, freezing in the winter. So we really don't know the weather kind of. So for us, it could be a spike here or a spike there, and we're busy. But it's the slow times that, like, when we don't have any weather occurrences, that it's like, okay, now, and you and I were talking about that stuff, about how you make up for that, or what you do during those slow times, right? Because we all know what we're doing during the busy times. We're freaking balls to the wall. Yeah.
Hang on.
You're on that bicycle that's going down the hill faster than you've ever gone before, and that bike is riding you. You're not riding the bike. And you're literally just hanging on, trying to keep it upright, right? That's it. But during the slow times, what do you do?
Well, I have a quick question though first.
Okay.
So you guys have been solidified a lot longer in your businesses than I have. So how long did it take for you to recognize or see the cycle and be able to apply okay, this is busy time, so I can do this here, and this is busy and this here. So like obviously with COVID, it went crazy, but at some point, you like within how many years of your business where you're like, ooh, I know in June I can do this because this is happening or this isn't happening.
Or I need to prep for July.
I mean, we do budgets versus actuals reports. So we could like our first year in business, we just divided it by 12 for our budget. And then we ran our budget versus actuals, and then we could see the peaks and the, like, how far off we were. Like it didn't make sense that in, our budget was pretty normal. Then all of a sudden our actual, like, it looked like we killed it. And then it went back down to normal. So, and then we had to adjust our budget to reflect not dividing it by 12, but saying, like, I don't know, like, we'll do just rounded numbers because it's easiest. Like January and February, we'll project $10,000 each month, but we know in March and April, it'll be like 15,000 and then 20,000. And we'll put those actual real budgeted numbers in and see where our flow comes. But also I've been bookkeeping for 19 years.
Yeah.
So I kind of know the flow of the industry. So
yours is very much driven by industry.
Yeah. I mean, mine's always, my busy time will never change.
And then yours is driven by weather.
Right.
And mine's driven by everyone else's businesses.
Well, yeah. So, okay. So your business, like mine, though, is going to be extremely volatile based on other people's businesses, unless you're out doing your marketing. Right. And bringing in that business because yes, mine is really heavily driven by weather occurrences. However, fires don't start from weather. Sewage backup doesn't start from
What if it
weather.
gets electrocuted?
Mold
Does it
doesn't.
start fires?
Mold can start from weather because if you have water
Well,
damage.
you're right, but like it doesn't.
We're
it
just
doesn't
proving you
it
right.
doesn't just occur. But the rain doesn't fall and the mold doesn't just occur. There's time after that, so it's not like I have to run out and rush a mold job because of a flooded basement
Correct,
right then
right.
and there at that weather event. So no, dead bodies don't occur from weather. So they can.
do.
They can. However, it's not driving, like dishwashers don't rupture, hot water tanks
Yeah.
don't go, right? Like there's so much that's non-weather related that those are the kind of jobs that we seek and market towards for our slow times,
Mhm.
right? So that way, if when we first started, to your point,
Yeah.
when we first started, we went 3 weeks with no jobs, nothing. Then we got this attic mold job in the middle of June, and I scheduled it at 10 a.m. And I was in this attic for 10 minutes, out for 20 because it was 140 degrees in this attic. And I was totally unprepared, totally didn't know what I was doing, but got the job done. Way underbid it. 4 weeks went by or something like that without another job. And my wife's freaking out. We're going to die. We're going under.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world, right? Carrie. It is the end of the world. And then the biggest rainstorm came that happened in July of 2017. We all remember it.
Was that the
Yeah,
lake?
you remember it.
Fox Lake.
Yeah,
or-
everything all flooded.
Yeah.
And the roads were flooded.
Yeah.
Everything flooded, right?
Hey, Mary
There weren't as many.
Hey, Derek.
Hey, Mary. Hey, Derek.
Hope your little guy's feeling better, Derek.
Yeah, amen, dude. Hope he's good. There wasn't enough companies that did what we did for the amount of work out there. So we got more business than we could handle, right? And so we did that. As soon as I walked away from that, I went, okay, this is not the way to do business. We can't go dry for weeks and then slammed. I'm not going to keep employees.
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep. So then it's all right. I'm immediately marketing towards those non-weather related jobs.
Those fill in the gaps.
Yeah, which unfortunately is attic mold. But it's also the hot water tanks, the furnaces that go bad, right? There's so many things that are non-weather related that's what we market to, and that sustains the business when we're not. And like you said, you have your monthly occurrences, right? That you go through. And so those monthly occurrences and those things that you have that you just sustain your business during the slow times.
Right.
That's what we went out and marketed towards.
Does Jeff really know what he's talking about? Because he said, hey, peeps, and it's Easter season, and peeps are like my addiction.
The
marshmallow peeps.
Jeff definitely knows who he's talking to. I like the peeps too.
What's up, Jeff?
What up, Jeff? We love marketing to the non-weather related, because if the weather goes to hell, there's not enough companies for how much job work is out there, right? Like that's it.
So like for you, how often do you recommend that somebody kind of does like a haul of their website, or like a review? Like if let's say it's just really outdated, like in the green room, I could show you later after the show, like this one website I found, and
I've seen some things,
and I how often do you do it? Like we've had our website, it's our like 4th or 5th website since we opened, but we've had it for a little over a year now, I think, maybe 2 years. And so how often should you update it, and graphics wise and stuff?
As long as everything is kept up to date with the back end, so you don't have security threats and bots getting into the website, and then you have a bunch of issues anyways. If everything is up to date and you're sticking with whatever parameters Google is saying as far as mobile friendly and all that kind of stuff, then you're good. It's the ones who go, oh, I don't need a website. I'm good. I got enough business. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And that's like a typical trades mentality is, no, I'm busy.
I
don't
have
need
enough
to market,
business.
right? And so then the business runs out, and then they go, oh crap.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me with a website? I'm getting no business. I need business, right?
Right.
So
then but then on the other end of it is the social media stuff. So that's obviously an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, the 2 to 3 times a week for all the clients and everything. But, you look at the website, you go, oh hell, or we can fix it up a little bit, But honestly, I'm going into all these websites monthly and updating and just making sure that all that kind of stuff is done. The website, I tell, is never done. It's never completed. The project to do the website may be completed, but a website is never done. It's a living being. It
Yeah,
constantly
I
has
like
to
that.
change and evolve.
I
So
like that.
as you grow, as your business grows, then your website needs to do the same.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So what do you do? So like now we've talked about like you've had this rush of busy season.
Right.
Now you're starting to wind down.
Right.
What are the top 3 things that you guys do then during your start of the slow time from an operations perspective?
Right.
Go ahead.
You don't know? Are you not sure?
No, I know. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Right. Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Always marketing. Training.
Yeah.
For what we do, especially, safety's huge. So, but just
Safety third.
Safety third. And if anybody wants to know, the client is first and documentation is second. And if we teach you the safety right, I should not have to tell you to be safe. You should be watching yourself. So safety third. I got that from Mike Rowe and Dirty Jobs, FYI.
I love that guy.
I love that guy, and he came up with safety third. Him and the crew at Dirty Jobs. So
So great.
Which totally goes with my work and line of business.
You're like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Safety third. So training on both safety we do every week, but we'll go deeper into it if we have the time and it's slow. But training on what we do and why we do it and how we do it, right? A lot of science involved. So we love training. And then a third one would probably be camaraderie building, right? Which training
Focusing on your
training can do, but like when you're slow, it's hard to spend money when you're slow. But when you're slow, that's the time to treat your employees to saying, hey, you're doing a great job. We're slow. Let's go out to a game or go do something or whatever we can do, have a barbecue, right? A picnic, because that's the time to appreciate those that, right? It may just be like literally, dude, go take a day off. Right. And I'll pay you for a day off or something, but like paying for
just
employees, the appreciation for employees is to me is and Carrie as well is very huge. So that's what we do.
I kind of go, oh, what the hell just happened? And then
recoil.
Yeah. And then go, okay, now let's figure out where my desk is underneath this big pile of craziness and go, okay, let's figure out what happened. What needs to be done as a follow-up? What needs to be done better? How should I have done things differently? Because there's going to be another busy season. So can I do something better in the future?
Right.
And I need to bring someone onto my team. And so then my busy season isn't so busy. So now that I have more people, on the Epic team. So it's one of those, just like the website's never done, that's evolving, then the business is evolving. You look at it and go, okay, busy, great. Now I didn't lose my mind as much as I did last year. So that's a positive. And and then, okay, the biggest part of learning curve for myself was to go, I'm busy. And then I wasn't busy and I went, why don't I have anything to do? Oh, I didn't market myself. I was marketing everyone else.
Yeah.
Then I
exactly.
went, oh yeah. So I really have to keep it top of mind to split being in the business and working on the business, like at the same time, knowing it's never a 50-50. Sometimes it's a 90-10, but
that's
it
the
has
nice
to be
thing
done.
About having a spouse run the business with you is Steph knows my wife's daily
Carrie's awesome.
In the business. Yeah. You know this too. Yeah. Carrie is daily in the business, running the business. And so that allows me to be on the outskirts looking in, watching the machine and going, oh, that's a bottleneck right there. I got to fix that right now. Right. I can see it right when it happens. I go, that's a problem. And so we can kind of churn and burn those things. But then the training comes, yeah, exactly. Steph, what do you do?
Well, Rich and I will sit down and do all the analytics. So we'll sit down and we'll review all of the timers. So so when I sell a job or start a job, then we create either a ticket if it's a project, a task if it's a monthly reoccurring service of some sort, and then all of our time is logged. So I could see
What you use a platform?
Yeah.
What platform?
we use Accello. It's ACCELO.
I use Asana for my, so it's essentially another
Well, I
keeping projects alive and knowing what's happening and tasks and things. Okay.
Well, I send all my contracts out of there. All my clients have
Interesting.
a secured portal to log into to
full
upload.
That's a
dashboard.
full. Okay, that's
documentation.
awesome.
That's
it's a slightly overkill for, especially when we bought it. It was way overkill. But I
Right.
mean, we're growing into it.
Right.
So
that's
it's
the
fine.
goal, though. If you do that,
Right.
we got a platform like that when Carrie and I started Restoration One. They gave us, they recommended a platform that was gazillions of dollars, and we wasted the gazillions of dollars for like 3 months and went, I literally can do this faster than I can stumble through this program on paper.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, we're out, we're done.
Yeah. No, I mean, I like it. I mean, as we keep growing into it, there's like a few things like they have a thing called a wish list, and you could email the company and then they're trying to implement some stuff.
That's awesome.
And then,
That's very cool.
But so so we take a look at all the timers. We take a look at making sure that we're well within our timers for what I bid out the jobs on. If we aren't within our timers, why weren't we hitting our times? So we look at that, and then we also look at client retention. And that was something that Rich and I hadn't done in a long time. And so we did that actually the other night. And from looking at that, we added another layer deep on any clients that we've lost since we've started Steph's Books, because half the people on the list are no longer in business. So it really wasn't like our fault if they were gone.
I'm going to make a joke about that and go, you sure?
Well, yeah, like I can only take the numbers and put them in there.
Thanks for letting us know that was a joke. Derek says, my slow season is continuing education, marketing, file cleanup, and relationship building. So I think it goes along what you're saying there, Joe. And then Jeff types in, my slower season will be to prospect for new referral sources and more commercial clients.
There it is.
I'll also focus on continuing education.
Training and marketing.
Yep.
Yeah, so QuickBooks has a lot of great training tools and videos and things. So we do continuing education in our slow season. But when we're running, so something that happened, I'll just share it, even though it's kind of like sucky. But so
part of it.
Yeah,
it's good drama. Don't worry.
So I
can't wait.
So I had announced on the show, like sometime I think in December, we had a record-breaking signing of clients, like in a week.
Right.
And so I was not prepared. I thought I was prepared. I was not prepared to onboard this new batch of clients, plus onboard a new employee, plus I had some life things happen.
Yep.
So we had a bit of a turnover come January. And so it really hit me hard because I was like, this sucks because I don't like losing performance.
I get
if it's something where the client outgrows us or they go out of business or we're just not a good fit because they need somebody internally, whatever the situation may be. But that performance, I don't want to lose somebody on that.
No, I get that for sure.
And then so now we've spent a lot of time putting things in place. So now right before the show, I was putting out a job ad. So we're hiring again. So if anybody knows
Not
anybody,
that she got rid of her two employees. No, she's expanding, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Chase and Melanie are still here and rocking along, but I could see it in their face that they're hitting.
Is it the pulling of the hair? Like
they're maxing out.
Yeah.
So we
okay. So then I have another question to go along with that. So it's busy right now. You guys are all pulling your hair out, losing your mind, right?
Yeah.
But at some point it's going to stop. You're going to bring someone on. Then the busy season stops. Now you have another person. Then you go.
Well, the busy season doesn't. The reason what makes part of us like a busy season is the onboarding process. So we have right now, I don't know if I want to say this, but we have 22 cleanup projects right now that we have to get done between the three of us, plus maintain our current client list.
I get it. Okay.
So once the onboarding's done, then those clients roll into our normal monthly reoccurring services, and it's a lot more manageable,
efficient
than doing 13 months of cleanup for somebody versus 1 month of services.
Okay.
And so the busy season is just because we have to get these people ready and prepped and and build QuickBooks files and whatever and all that fun junk that comes along with what we do. And then
But essentially, it's not like
Fun
the project.
junk we do.
Yeah.
It sounds exciting.
But like, so we have to do all of that. So then they just transition into like a monthly reoccurring, and then it just goes into the maintenance. But realistically, I guess like a normal person can maintain about 20 to 30 accounts. And I guess I'm not as normal. Because like,
What?
Yeah.
You don't say. What time did you say you were in the office doing work?
Well, I was at home at 4.
4. That's
So
it.
I have my
Yeah,
laptop at
4
home.
a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AM?
AM. Not. Yeah. For
Yeah.
those that don't know that 4 comes around twice in one day, it does.
I didn't know.
I just take, whatever. I'll just take a nap.
Wait,
and then
Jess,
I just get up
Jess,
and
don't
do it.
lie. I'm sure you've seen 4 a.m. on the backside.
A few times.
Yes. You know about 4 a.m. Just
I've
not in the
heard
morning.
of it.
Not in the morning.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so I'm getting getting to the point where I don't want to be working every morning at that time. And then I've been doing a lot more on-site stuff too.
Mhm.
So you talk about, you said let's get somebody on board. You got him on board. We get somebody hired for your busy season, during your busy season, and then all of a sudden, right, you're slowing down or something like that. How do you keep that employee, right? That leads into financials. That's all financials. Like that's the Steph, how do we call it in the green room? That's the cash. I just had my rockin' season. I'm high in cash.
Mhm.
What do you do with that cash to store away for the not rainy day for me, but like the
sunny day.
You're like,
sunny
right?
days for me,
Yeah.
right? Like
Nice weather days.
What do you do for the rainy days, right? How much do you guys? So like, Jess, do you think about those kind of things, or are you still trying to work through? Because you mentioned you were a little bit newer at it, but I assume because you're very savvy in what you do, right? Like you're not thinking, come the dry season when the business is all dried up and I'm slow, crap, now I'm scrambling. I don't have money. I don't have this in the business. Now I got to go, right? Like you have a plan, right? For when it slows down.
Yes. And it is a lot of the same thing as going through the, not necessarily team building for me, but there's a couple of us on the team, but it's, just, hey, let's hang out. Let's go get a drink. But,
Totally.
But it is going, what are my processes? Are there things that I am doing that I can spend the time now to put into that automation, project? So I do a lot of putting everything into, just making it automated throughout the systems. My QuickBooks is talking to my Zoho. My Zoho is talking to my Covey, which is an app for business cards. And so I can scan a business card and it sends it to my CRM, and it also sends it to my QuickBook or my Outlook. And then once the CRM recognizes that there's a new entry, then it inputs it into my QuickBooks. So instead of typing all of these things in all the time, but to create it takes time.
Yes.
And it's like, when you're busy, you're like, I'll just enter it in all the time, and it at that time maybe faster.
Yes, creating
But
your system.
When Christmas came and I was like, I got to enter in all these addresses to my CRM, I'm going to lose my mind because I totally forgot that I put this automation together. I went through and I was like, oh, look at me. Like, good job. I was so proud of myself.
Hey, way to go.
I was like, oh,
yes,
I forgot about it.
Yes, Jess.
But then it's like stuff like that where it's, okay, what other things like that can I do?
Systems and procedures. Steph and I are in a networking group, and I was supposed to do the education 2 days ago on Wednesday evening, and we blew past it just because we had so much cooking in the group. And it literally was on systems and procedures and how to create those. And that is actually a great point, is it takes so much time to sit down and create a system or a procedure or a SOP, right? A standard operating procedure. It takes so much time to document it, to write it down, to do all that, you're not doing it in the busy time.
No.
And if you don't do it during the slow time, it's not.
You're not going to do it.
You're not going to do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
ahead.
give it to me and I'll do it.
Well, you want
For
you're gonna come and do create an SOP for cleaning up poop.
I can set up the automated channels.
Deal?
That I can do.
Maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about
But
that.
it's, it's going, okay, what is going to make sense? Why do I need to do all of this work? What can I make it easier?
Mhm.
And that sounds like a lot of, with you being in the business and you've like found this great platform to be able to do these wish lists and things and stuff that you were talking about. It's like, yeah, you had to go through the, oh crap, what am I going to do? I have so much going on, to then find this platform, use it, and then fully use it to like continue to grow. I think that's just the process of business.
So because what do you do briefly, because we're at that time where we're going to start calling off
like from a financial aspect?
Yeah.
So what I always recommend for businesses that have like a true slow season, like I'll use construction for an example.
Yes.
So,
landscaping, if they don't do
right.
snow removal.
So So all those kind of businesses. So what you would need to do is look at your expenses, like your expenses that you can't get rid of. So your rent, your utilities, your like car payments, anything like that you can't get rid of. And then if you have a ghost or not ghost, like a skeleton crew or whatever that stays on for the year, you need to figure out, okay, my slow season is 5 months. These are the bills that have to be paid over that 5 months. This is the minimum or whatever I'm expecting to pay out. And then from there, look at how much money you're pulling in during your busy season, and then open up a separate bank account and then put that small percentage in over the whatever 7 months of your busy season. And then you could start building up your little slush account. And if you do have money left over in your slush account, then you could do other things. Like a client that I have that does construction, they were thinking about getting heated pop-up tents. So at this time of the year, they could kind of kick off their season a little early because they have all of this work lined up and they're just sitting there waiting for like the rain to stop.
Right.
Or waiting for it to warm up a little bit so like things will cure properly outside. So, but if they have these heated pop-up tents, then they could go and bang the stuff out and start bringing in money a little bit earlier than they normally would. But they just have to be able to save up enough money to afford to buy those tents because they're not the cheapest.
But that's I think what I find interesting is the evolution of business, of when you start your business and you may possibly know what you're doing, but running the business and being running the business and being the business are vastly two different things. So you could be good with one and not the other. But then you have to go through these pitfalls and you have to have these busy seasons and then have these slow seasons and go, okay, what did I need to do to then have more money to be able to go, oh, I need to buy these pop-up tents or something like that. They had to go through like a crappy winter or have all these jobs build up to go, okay, what can we do to solve this problem?
Or
and it just kind of
to
keeps
literally
going.
Say, oh, there's an opportunity to start working earlier, earn more money.
Or they just hate putting like all that winter expense on their credit cards and playing that game of, starting to rob Peter to pay Paul kind of thing. And, it gets out of hand so fast.
All right, let's make our announcements. Go ahead,
Hey,
Steph.
Tim Santos.
Go ahead, Steph.
Steph with Steph's Bookkeeping Service, 847-942-3004, stephsbooks.com. You check us out for our pricing calculator. And Jess.
Jess Stoffel, Epic Media, website design and social media marketing.
They run this our Facebook.
Yes, I do your Facebook.
Yep. Sponsor and they run it. Like she literally does our Facebook. Like, we gotta say that, right? Like she's here, we might as well say it. Not just a sponsor of the radio show, but she does our Facebook.
So not only do I do their Facebook page, I do others, local and nationwide businesses. So it's epicmediainc.com, and you can email me at jess@epicmediainc.com.
Can you do Singapore?
Yeah.
We have a listener in Singapore.
Yeah, why not?
Gary, no,
Gary,
I don't
are you
think
listening?
It's,
speak up, Gary.
It's morning time by him right now.
Yeah, but he's usually listening. I'm just saying, Gary's in. And then we also have, I think, a South Africa. So anywhere. All right, worldwide. Get a hold of Jess.
Yeah.
Joe Turner, Restoration One, water, fire, smoke, mold, everything disgusting and gross that your normal cleaning service doesn't want to touch.
Most people don't want to touch.
Anybody who doesn't want to touch, we love to put a good old hazmat suit on and dive right in.
Oh, God.
Belly flopper in.
Oh, there's Gary.
Say, hey,
Oh,
Gary,
there he
here
is.
you
Good
are,
morning.
man. It is 4:30 a.m. Another person
another
that knows the
4:30.
4 o'clock hour.
It does exist.
Yeah.
Well, if you know how busy Gary is, you wouldn't be surprised.
Listen, I believe it. He replies all the time. He must be up and moving and ready, getting his day going. I hope he likes our voices this early.
A little shock in the morning to wake up.
I mean, mine's aggressive. So we talked operations, we talked financing. When you walk into a business and you walk into your slow season, you have to have money set aside. You have to have that, right? You want to make sure, but we've said it before. We've kind of mentioned it during both operations and financial. It's the marketing aspect, right? Like there's so much to marketing during your slow time, but like, to me, it's more knowing when we've all said it. Hey, this is my slow time. This is my slow time. This is when I'm slow. This is when I'm slow. We all know it. Now it's about a matter of attacking that before you're slow.
Yeah. I mean, like I know like some people, like some accountants that I know after tax season. So when it ends, so that in between time between now and the extensions, they take a full month off and go decompress somewhere.
But I think that's okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense, especially if you know you're going to be slamming busy. But my thing is that, like if we're not marketing 24/7 all the time, right? 7 days a week, we're going to have slow times.
Yeah,
but if I'm not marketing, I'm not going to have a slow time.
I think you have to have obviously you have to market all the time, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to change your busy times versus your slow times, because you're slow. Like, let's say you're busy all the time. You never have a slow time. When do you do the fun how stuff. Am I at? No, not even that. Just how am I at with my business and looking at the analytics and all that kind of stuff. You lose that aspect of okay, during my busy time, I did this.
But that's
in India?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ramit's from India.
Oh, yeah. So, see, there we got
India.
All
there
over.
We go.
When Gary said he's going to go to bed after our show. So, I guess we're his nighttime show.
Gary's burning the late night candle. He's burning the Jess candle, not the Steph candle.
I get it.
Hi, Linda. Hi,
Mom.
Linda. I have to yell because...
she's in Arizona.
Well,
so she can hear him.
Gary says he's just chilling at his computer. We'll crash the bed after the show. That's it. So if we go and we do our marketing and you're marketing all the time, my mindset is right. When you see your cycle of sales, right? You have your big giant spike when you're busy. You have your trough, right? And then it's low, and then it's back up and spike again, and then you're back low. Right. To me, my mindset is, well, I don't want it to be up, down, right? Big old swings. I want it to be more like this.
I don't know. I mean, like, I know.
Right. So that's my mindset is to try and make my business model, business.
But I mean, I know like when it's my slow season, it's not that we're slow and we have nothing to do.
Right.
Where we got our work that we're doing, our normal work.
Right.
So it's not like we go from being really, really busy to then just sitting there looking at each other to then being really, really busy.
Right.
And if things like what Jess was saying, if our website and our social media campaigns and all these things are set up properly, we're marketing 24/7 anyways.
Right.
So it's not going to stop us from having like a little peak and then like going back to our norm and then having our little peak and going back to our norm. I mean, because it's not like it's going to make anybody file taxes any faster or make anybody,
that's like I said, you're still going to have that burst of business, but is it a burst, during your slow times?
It's not as much of a differential between your busy.
Correct. Yeah. Are you building your slow times up to try and meet that same burst? So you're always trying to push your limit, right? For
that's
me,
just the growth of business, though.
You would hope if you're watching your business and doing it right, but yeah. For those that didn't, for everybody besides the 4 people watching the show that didn't see Jess just cross her fingers and grit her teeth, That's what she did.
Here's
So
a
for
hoping.
for the 4 people that are watching the
Yep.
show, they saw that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like crossing your fingers and like going, I hope,
Right.
right? Like that's just not sustainable to me. Like you
No,
have
of
to
course not.
constantly going and trying to raise your slow times to meet your high times. If you're constantly trying to get your slow time to match your high time, you're going to constantly be growing.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or burnout.
yeah.
Well, that's if you're doing the work and working in your business.
Right. Yeah. It
Yeah.
needs to make sense.
You
I've
you
learned
need to hire. You need
with
to get people that you trust.
all the different
And-
industries that I've worked with
Uh-huh.
and are working with, I've seen all of it. It's
Totally.
just amazing to me to see not even just the industries and the different industry busy
I was
times
going
and
to
how
say,
people
you're talking
operate.
the full spectrum of how people run their business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I kind of not only have learned from some of their I don't want to say mistakes. Let's say
you can say mistakes.
mishandling of
Proper situations.
right.
Okay. We'll
That
accept that.
it's like, oh, that is something I need to be aware of. That is a good point. Or
Can you
something
give
like
us an
that.
example, not of what somebody has done, but what you have learned?
It was kind of like the not preparing for the slow times, not marketing.
Before, because marketing, like, not,
Like
and
my
not
website,
just, not just
my
marketing.
website's done. I'll go like they're done now, and then I don't hear from them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, I need some help. Like, well, this is why we talked about constantly revamping and kind of going through stuff. And, you have to keep and have either you or someone has to keep an eye on that, any marketing, especially the digital marketing stuff with all the changes that happen. And if you don't, you're lost. And then you do have those slow times are real slow if you're not focusing on it.
Totally. Yeah. How would you best tell somebody to combat that? Right? Like to me, my mindset is I'm going to be out doing the things, right? Talking to people. Today, I literally I was telling Steph in the green room, I came from a job fair at one of the local high schools.
Mm-hmm.
They shipped in 4 other high schools. So they brought 4 other high schools from the local area into this one high school. There's 5 high schools there. They were probably, I mean, a lot of them were coming in and out. I think they were skipping class. But
all about.
You had to have seen probably like 3,000 kids or so.
I would say it wasn't 3,000, but it was a lot of students, right? And that came by, and we were hiring for positions that like we may not need, but I don't care. I want somebody to come and be interested in working for us, because I know that if I get a big job tomorrow, I need employees, and I would love to have a bunch of people just freshly hired and ready to go. And it creates that competitiveness in the company to be like, no, I'm going to do good. I don't need to slack off because you're not hiring anybody, right? So I love that slow time to go and actually spend money.
Yeah.
Spend money on my employees, spend money on my training, spend money, right? So like, I
RV.
love the slow time. What? I'm spend money on what?
An RV.
And well, that's in the works. Yes, I did spend money on an RV.
But I don't know. I mean, so during your slow like if I wanted to go when we're kind of stabilized, I'll say stabilized instead of slow.
Love that.
That's probably better.
Yeah. I really like that terminology.
So if we're, still
steady state.
Yeah.
I like
it. So if we're just, chugging along, and then I decide I want to go to Arizona to visit my mom, and I'll bring the kids. But I still have my laptop, my phone still.
Oh, I don't go anywhere without my laptop.
So it's just
like a security blanket for me.
So I just
from the old man in the room.
He pipes in from the corner.
Yes?
You're still here.
I have done that most of my entire life. And what I have found out
They had laptops when you were younger?
Yes, they were. Thanks for your coffee.
Were they like?
It was like a stone and
stone and chisel. You put it on your lap and you hammered on your lap.
What I found out was I wasn't really recharging. I wasn't taking a true vacation. I was always checking the email. I was doing stuff.
Totally.
I was stop us, and it bothered a kind of special person in my life. So I have made the agreement that when we go someplace today, the laptop does stay home. I do have my phone, which has everything on it. and
I was going to
You know,
say
I
your
do
phone
keep-
is a
but-
laptop.
but it's, it's very minimal. And my clients are all aware that I'm gone, and emergencies are welcome. If you need me, I'll be there, but make it an emergency.
I get that. I do that a lot. I mean, just because I bring the laptop with me doesn't mean I'm
It
actually
just
like
makes me feel better
going
to have
on it. Because what will happen is that's the time
That's
I don't.
funny you say that.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, a website goes down or something happens with someone's business. It's like the one time I didn't bring my laptop. But I get the having to recharge and breaking away from it. You absolutely need to do that.
I mean,
at
like,
some point.
when we went to Vegas for we just did 2 days, not recently, but we
I
just
don't
went.
know if that's a full recharge.
I mean, like,
That's a discard.
Good call,
But
Jess.
I was just
Good-
saying,
good-
I've
good
never
call,
been.
Jess.
I'm just
we
saying, I've heard.
just jetted over
You've
there
never
real
been?
quick. Really?
Really?
Terrified to go.
So we just
What?
jetted over there, did whatever we were gonna do there, and then came back home. And it was a Saturday and Sunday. So usually my phone isn't ringing off the hook like it would be during the week. But it just makes me feel better to have my laptop, even though I know it was very, very, very unlikely that I was even gonna fire it up.
But it's the time you don't bring it.
Right. It just makes me feel like it's a little comfort.
So I heard, fun fact,
I love fun facts.
the Apollo mission that went to the moon.
They brought their laptop?
Nope.
Oh.
That
I was thinking the same thing.
entire spaceship had less computing power than your phone.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to space. Great.
Well, now it's different.
Don't matter.
Now
You still
it's
need
different, but
$55 million to go.
that spaceship had less computing power than this phone has in the entire spaceship.
Mhm.
They landed on the moon, took off, and got home.
And now to connect those dots, my grandchildren and their phones are totally out in space whenever they have these things.
Yeah. There you go.
I get that. Yeah, for sure.
I take my laptop everywhere I go. I never open up because I could do everything, the same thing, almost everything I could do from my laptop, I could do from my phone that I need to do for my business. Most of it's emails,
I
phones,
went out and traded my phone in so I could open, have the screen of
the big
the
giant
laptop.
screen. Right. I mean,
So-
I'm not. I'm okay with the idea of having my laptop, and I bring it just for that.
It's a
same thing.
It's a security blanket.
It's a
thing
security
for sure.
blanket for definitely.
Yeah.
But that being said, when Steph said that, I may take it, or you said, and I may not use it. I just had that epiphany because I went to Texas for the convention for our company, and I took it. I literally didn't even take it out of my bag the entire time.
Right.
And I'm looking at myself, thinking about that. I'm going, God, I could trim a lot of weight if I just. I mean, that's a lot that I could trim if I just kept my backpack at home.
Why?
Because
When
I don't need my cell phone
I
or I don't
literally
need my computer.
flew to Arizona, had a business meeting, and flew home in the same day, and I still brought my laptop.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Nope. I'm officially a changed man.
Oh well, good for you. I can't do it.
Well,
I can't do
see.
it.
We're gonna
Yeah,
see.
Joe's not going to bring his laptop, but Carrie's going to bring her laptop.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
so you'll be
she's-
set.
She's in downtown.
That's not really fair.
Yeah, well, wait. Yeah, I was gonna say she's downtown right
not
now.
the
She's in the
same.
city right now for her 40th birthday. It's in fact tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
My wife's
to
40th
you.
birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday!
You gave your wife's age.
It's a big day. It's a big birthday. You should celebrate these great milestones. I feel like 40 is the new 30. Everybody that's 40 is young. Sorry, Coach.
Ow.
But all I'm saying is she took her laptop down there.
Yeah.
Reload. I'll give you the free shot. You still can't have it. But what I'm saying though is that there's so much that you can do now without going and being 100% in the game, right? Like you could do those small things and still answer emails, still be on have your phone and do that quick thing. But as Coach said, it's hard to completely unplug and be away from everything.
There's one place I go every year, Kelly's Island in Ohio.
That is an island too.
I know. Different island, different lake.
Yeah.
That I will put the I'm away, messages on.
Mhm.
I'm still bringing my laptop because something's gonna happen if I
It's
don't.
still with you,
But I will disconnect, go off the grid, all that, kind of thing. And I mean, obviously my clients are understandable. They know that. They know
Plenty
that
of warning. You give them the
100%,
communication, right? Like,
and they
everything's good.
know that, and there's still, for me, there's still feel like a guilt factor, but I need to break away, because then after I get back, then school starts, and then it's just craziness with the kids and everything. But yeah.
Rich
Well,
gave me the look.
imagine things like the NCAA tournament that was just happening. You're in the midst of your busy season, and then it's just over.
Yeah.
You lose that last game. I mean, we at
And then-
least have a taper down. You know, Steph, you have, what is it, April 18th this year?
Yep.
Yeah,
you
The
know,
date.
but
That's the date.
most of us,
the date.
busy times and down times can sometimes be kind of a surprise to us.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
and they fade in and they fade out. And that's what makes that, I think, difficult. You can plan for yours. All right, April 19th, party at
Yeah,
Steph's.
that's
Yeah,
because
right,
you
yeah.
actually know when your
Well, the last
cyclical
2
period
years
is coming.
they've been extending it, like without extension, like without filing a
Because of
formal.
COVID stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 years they've been
But
filing
that just
it,
gives you
and
more
it felt
time.
like
but
tax
you-
season never ended in 2020. I was like, I was like so confused. I was like, I
You're
don't
like,
know.
wait, what year is this? What? Who's?
Yeah, and like I don't know. I mean, Rich gave me the look when I told him, because Rich is turning 40 this year, and we're going to Gatlinburg.
Oh,
For
Ooh,
his,
just got back.
yeah. So
Did
we
you?
rented an Airbnb,
My family
and
just got back too.
and he and I was like, well, you know, I said something about bringing my laptop, and I got the look, and I'm like, I have to have it.
Yeah.
I said that
yeah,
my
yeah.
staff is here, and yes, my staff can handle like a whole bunch of stuff when I'm not, you know, in the office.
Just because you're bringing it doesn't mean
but
you're going to be sitting
like,
there
what
working
happens
the
if
whole
they
time.
like need me to do something? Like
Absolutely.
it's so
Well-
difficult for some of the stuff to see it clearly on my phone.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
What was that game we played as kids? I think it was called Oh shit.
I think we called it BS.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
card game, right? It's
Yep.
a card game
Yeah,
called
yep,
BS.
yep, yep, yep,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting that we're kind of diving into this, because on the 29th, I think the 29th or 28th, whatever, the last Friday of this month, we have somebody that is coming in. Amy Wilhelm is coming in, and she does this and does like seminars and stuff about balance and work-life balance and all these things. So she's
I mean,
gonna
it's a
What's
provide
that?
she's
Yeah.
gonna provide the
Say,
secret
I don't
sauce.
get it.
So
What's that?
What's that?
Okay, so we've talked about the high times, the low times, the busy times, the
The
slow times,
The steady state.
the steady
not
time.
slow.
It's how okay. So that's
I like
actually
that.
what
I think I want
Jess,
to implement that in
Jess,
stuff.
what I want to ask you is, we talk about the busy times, the slow times, right?
Mhm.
If you want to call it slow, if you like, some of us recognize that it may be slow. We try to make it steady,
Correct.
not slow, right?
Yep.
What are some great marketing implications you could do through social media, through those platforms that you operate the best on,
Mhm.
to not experience maybe as much of a slow time? Are there some general tips you can give that would for all industries, right? Because
For sure.
I know it's very hard to give a tip to somebody that's in a different industry, you know, whether it be retail versus
Well, not necessarily.
whatever,
I mean, if you go through, whether it's your person who's doing your marketing or the marketing department in your own company or something, someone who's managing the website, sit down and look at those analytics. What happened? What are those pages that people, you know, if you go to Google Analytics, it'll tell you the top 10 pages during a certain time frame. You can set whatever time frame that people were looking at. And then ask yourself, why? Why were those 10 pages? What was going on? What was I
Mhm.
doing? And can you optimize those pages better, either at all times or just during those times? You know,
right. Don't try and
Yeah.
blanket the world.
let
just
your
try and nail-
audience,
right,
let
right.
your
I love that.
audience, let your customers, or prospective customers tell you what they're doing, and then be there where they're at. You know, just
Love that. Don't show up to sell your corn at the train station. Show up to sell your corn at the farmer's market.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Probably
but I got
spell more corn at the train station.
Maybe, but
well, that's
you don't
where
know.
the farmers market is in Cary. Is at the
In
train
Cary,
station.
you're right. I know. That's why I went with
That's-
that. It just tied
That's
in
the
really
one.
well.
That's the one that Mary Shep runs.
Yes.
Yeah.
We sponsor it.
Oh,
It
okay.
just came to mind, and that's why I came like, yes, you're exactly right.
I mean, even with the social media, you go through the analytics of the social media. It'll tell you your followers and when people are online. use that. Do not post at 6 p.m. if it's telling you that your followers are majority online at 8 a.m. You will be
Love that.
lost in their feed. Don't waste your marketing. It's a lot of times it's hard to come up with everything and all the concepts and what you want to do. Don't just like burn it.
So
Use it.
what you're saying, essentially, to boil it down, is do your research, have your knowledge, and in that, your target that you're throwing at with your dart is going to grow substantially with all that research and knowledge, so that when you throw that target, you're going to hit a 3-foot wide bullseye instead of a
You may
2-inch
find a
wide
whole
bullseye.
new revenue stream existing that you didn't know actually existed.
Oh, yeah, that's something that we didn't
Love
really touch on, because I mean we do that like during, or like, because we were just having like a little mini meeting in our office, me and Melanie and Chase, and we were talking about doing, because there's potentially another space that's going to come available for rent, and so we were thinking about taking that space and turning it into a classroom and doing QuickBooks teaching and seminars.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And stuff, because I know some people that have done it at other places.
How many owners out there would love a QuickBooks session?
I mean,
Can
presented by a QuickBooks Pro.
Yeah.
Can you teach QuickBooks quickly?
I can.
She's a QuickBooks quicker.
She's the
It's
quicker
quickly.
books picker upper.
But it's just, so we were talking about doing something like that, because we know some people that have done like the free business classes and free business sessions, and they just didn't, it was just a big information dump in a matter of like 2 days. And to take all of that in and what QuickBooks does, and the biggest misconception that people have going into that, just because you learn QuickBooks doesn't mean that you know how to be a bookkeeper or an accountant coming out of that.
Absolutely not.
And a lot of people don't understand the difference in
Oh,
it. And
I learned. I just reconciled. That's as much as I can
Really?
get in there.
So I'm so proud to say my wife may not be certified in QuickBooks like Steph is to be like a pro, but she is one of the smart. She picked that. I don't know if you can vouch for this, but Carrie is so good with what she does with her bachelor's in fine arts.
I have a degree in wellness, health promotion, and injury prevention, and I'm doing digital marketing. It doesn't make sense.
Interesting. Yeah, my wife has a
But it does make dollars.
But it does make dollars.
That's right. I love that. Coach.
Although my minor in psychology does wonders.
I was gonna say that probably really helps. Yeah. That really helps. So if you were to give any suggestion to everybody out there, what's your blanket statement of like you really need to avoid or lessen the blow of the slow times, or to take advantage of the slow times, right? Like, what's your best advice for quote unquote anybody's slow times?
I don't, if anyone ever says like they have too many, they have enough clients, they have enough customers, it's the shoe is going to drop. Let the digital marketing not, have it drop all the way down or something, like keep it going. People are saying, I don't need a website, I'm fine. What do you do when you go search for something? You Google it, and there's a website. So like, your people, you run a business, your people.
I Google everything.
Well, but we
call it the Google Docs.
That's our age. Like
that. What? My mom Googles everything, and she's older than me.
But not everybody your mom's age goes straight to Google, right? Like,
I don't know, Mom. If you're still listening, how many of your friends go to the Google?
Google? Not that I'm calling you out, but
I turned 67 on March 29th. So
congratulations.
Thank you. I made it another milestone. I go to Google for almost everything. I'm talking to a person in Germany today.
You're a savvy dude, though. You just set
Who do you talk to? Is it people on the island that didn't have internet for a long time?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, who are you talking to? Because my grandma plays mahjong on the internet, and she's 90.
Grandma.
But that's mahjong. Ask her to go find a pair of shoes online.
She could do it. She texts me, and she puts emojis and everything.
That's text. That's not searching.
I'm just saying if she could text me and figure out emojis.
There's a
she could do it.
difference between our generation and the generations that
He keeps
grew up-
looking at me when he wants to say older.
He
I
really
mean,
is. I'm
I'm
feeling
feeling,
this a lot.
feeling a
I
little
feel
bit
like
slighted.
he-
God, I'm getting attacked
That's
here.
it. We're gonna put him. You need to do a one-on-one with Kay Riesling, and you're gonna go to the adult living facility with her, and you're gonna see how savvy these people are
They
because they had to
are.
adapt.
You are
It's
underestimating.
their grandkids.
Savvy.
Yes.
Mhm.
Savvy.
I
You're
mean,
underestimating.
So
I'm telling
my advice would be is that yes, you need that mental health break
you. Mhm.
from coming down from an extremely busy period in your whatever cycle.
Yeah.
Right.
But don't let that break last too long because you need to get your head back in the game
Mhm.
to get going and figure out like what made that period
Totally.
so successful for you to then not have
ready.
those high peaks and valleys.
Right.
Jess,
right.
I got my bachelor's from Columbia
Uh-huh.
with a minor also in psychology.
Yeah.
Not because I took psychology courses.
See?
It's all the time I spent with the counselors.
See,
We're in the
Like,
last
here's a
30
degree.
seconds.
What'd she
Let's-
say?
my mom says that everybody Googles and it's called the Google God knows all.
Google God
See,
knows.
mom
all.
said. Mom said.
And,
GGKA.
Here she
I didn't
is.
know.
and with that, we're in the last 15 seconds. Knock it out, guys.
All right, close it out. Go ahead, Jess. This is your closing statement. Your last read in person for a while.
And Joe
Yeah.
just took the whole thing.
Yeah, he did.
No, we got
Epic
Joe,
Media,
we're pressing
digital
this
marketing.
past. We're pressing this past.
Epic Media Inc.
Come on, say it more. Jess, Stoffel, Epic Media.
Just Awful Epic Media Inc. Website design, social media marketing.
That's it. I love it. Go ahead, Steph.
Steph, stephsbooks.com.
Joe Turner, Restoration One, 847-264-4664, Water, Fire, Smoke and Mold.
And Coach Papa on the production. Thanks for getting caught in the net today. 216 the net with Steph and Joe and Jess.
Love that.
Have a good weekend,
See
Gary.
you guys.
Okay, we're off the radio. We're still live on social media, though.
Oh.
Hi, social media.
Hi, guys.
There's 3 people out there.